Today's podcast is brought to you by Kentucky Farm Bureau Insurance. When it comes to home and auto insurance, it's important to have the right coverage from a company and an agent you can trust. Someone who will help you properly protect the people and things you love most. So if the unexpected happens, you and your family can rest insured. To request a free quote, find your local KFB insurance agent at mykfbagent.com. Kentucky Farm Bureau, big on commitment. We have Kentucky Farm Bureau's first Vice President, Shane Wiseman, with us on this edition of Farm to Frankfort. Shane, it's great to have you with us here. First Vice President, but also Chairman of the Resolutions Committee, and it's June. We're really getting into kind of the heart of the policy development season.
Yes,
Tell us a little bit about yourself and about being Chairman of the Resolutions process and the importance of the resolutions process to Kentucky Farm Bureau.
All right. Appreciate you having me on today, Kyle. I'm from Clark County originally. Got elected first Vice President in December. I've been on the state board since 2010 when I got elected. From Winchester, Clark County. My wife and I, we have 3 kids, beef cattle farmer. My kids, we had a big month in May. My daughter, our middle child, Caitlin, she graduated from college from Moorhead. She's 21. My youngest son, our youngest child, graduated from high school. So all the kids are officially adults, as they tell me all the time, all officially adults. And my oldest is 23, my son, Marcus, and he's running the farm. So makes it where I'm able to do this. And we're running a beef cattle operation there.
Yeah.
And I've been involved with Clark County Farm Bureau since I was in high school. So we've been involved with the policy process for a long time. Of course, the policy is the most, in my opinion, one of the most important things that we're doing with Farm Bureau, or the most important thing. And the resolutions, and I've not really been involved with the resolutions process itself as far as being on the resolutions committee on the state level ever till I've been elected here as first Vice President. I'm looking very forward to it. I think, this is one of the key things. I've always got to sit in the business meeting and take part of it, and part of it there, but not to get involved in the process with the committee itself. So I'm looking very forward to that. As far as making the policy and on the county level, we spent a lot of time when I was president being involved trying to be sure that we look at the different issues going on in the county with our local level and different state issues that we felt that was important. We wanted to give it the attention that it needed. We put committees together trying to establish, the issues that's out there to be sure that anything that we sent up to Louisville for everybody to look at and to consider, to be sure that it was relevant.
Yeah.
For things that was going on, things that would help farmers, issues that was important to everybody, things that need to be considered.
Yeah, and you got to set in with us last year and watch that process. And Eddie, you were chairman for many years, and it's a full 2.5, 3-day process. And
Sure is.
Typically, what's kind of the average on how many resolutions we'll get in a single year?
So, of course, we have our county resolutions and also have all of our advisory committees send in resolutions to us. And as they compile those between state and national, somewhere between 900 and 1,000 resolutions every year come in that the resolutions committee goes over. And, of course, our staff, you and your department, they go through all of those as they come in and categorize them and put them in the areas that they need to be. So, Shane, you'll get that done for you. The staff does a great job compiling all that work for us and then going through them and talking about each and every one, because some of them are related to policy, maybe not in the section that it's sent in, but it may be policy already. And so we talk about that, but there's nothing better than sitting through that resolutions committee process. Those members take it very serious what they're doing and go through each and every one of those and see what fits and what's relevant at the time. And Shane, you're going to enjoy it. I got to do it for 14 years as chairman of the resolutions committee, and then I actually served on the committee for 6 years back in the 90s just as a member. So I've kind of seen the whole process of it, and but I'm excited for you to get to do it and see where it takes us. There's nothing more fulfilling than to see a county resolution or advisory committee resolutions come in, and it goes through our whole process, and then Kyle and his team lobby for it, and then it actually becomes into law or something that helps us. And you see it all the time, and there's probably nothing more fulfilling than we get to do that for our organization.
And Eddie, you mentioned there's nearly 1,000 resolutions that'll come in, and you've got the committee made up of people from all over Kentucky, each district, as well as Young Farmer, Generation Bridge, Women Committee. You get to chair that, Shane, and when you get that many recommendations in the room, there's always somebody that wants to tweak one or two things.
That's right.
So it gets into amending the amendments and parliamentary procedure. And Shane, I think as a 20-plus year roughly FFA and advisor, I think you certainly can bring a lot of experience to the table in terms of that procedure of how we get through the actual resolutions that we're talking about.
Yeah, I think it'll be good. I'm excited about it. I really look forward to it. And I know the day that I got to spend up there, I thought it was very eye-opening and very interesting just seeing the whole process. And, one thing that amazed me was how many counties think alike. A lot of the resolutions weren't exactly alike, but they had a lot of the same thought in them.
Yeah.
A lot of the counties had the same interests and same ideas, and they matched. And just seeing, the knowledge that you and Erica had and brought to the table that day to help with distinguishing and help, work all those out.
Yeah, and we say it all the time. Kentucky Farm Bureau, we're a grassroots organization, and I think the resolutions process is really the proof of that, where we do have all 120 counties submit policy resolutions. Over 24 advisory committees will submit policy resolutions, and then we'll also have, again, those Young Farmer, Women, Generation Bridge groups that will also submit resolutions. So I think that it really does put every single county in the room. And Eddie, I know you were at a meeting with American Farm Bureau presidents from other states and talking about the importance of county engagement.
Absolutely.
And I know you can both speak firsthand that every single county's resolution is heard in this process.
It is, and there's county presidents. We've talked about it, and I know that you were talking about Zippy Duval, our president of American Farm Bureaus, talks about the importance of a county president, what they do, but also that county board. But that county president is the leader in that county, and what they do is so important to our organization that they lead that county organization and make it what it is, and that's his focus this year. And we're going to focus on it with him because it is important. But this policy process is so important, and I always can't wait to see what the topics are. Is you're getting them after they have their annual meetings and our advisory committees meet. We always talk about the issues that are coming in as they're coming in, and of course your staff person Katie Weatherholt kind of keeps up with all that, and I know that you depend on her a lot to get to do this. Because she actually is the one that as they're coming in, they come to Katie, and she kind of gets them all in order for you and Erica to go through them. So it takes a whole team to do this, and it's just exciting for us to start the process here in our district meetings. I know you're coming up with those soon, and Shane, I think you're going to try to make as many of those as you can. I know you can't make all of them, but try to make some of them and hear what people are talking about.
Absolutely. I plan to try to attend many of the district meetings as I can this summer in July when they get kicked off here. Try to hear some of the ideas and see what's going on and get them started. Yeah,
and it's really our call to action, be engaged at that July district meeting and hear our policy development backgrounders. County submitted kind of just topics they wanted to hear about leading up to May 1. So we have chosen 4 Federation topics, and those have went out, but it's farmland retention,
yes, sir.
And which is obviously very important. It's environmental stewardship and a lot of these programs out there at the state and really federal level.
Right.
And then we also have federal tax update, federal tax reform. A lot of the provisions from 2017 will be expiring here this year, next year, and 2026. So we'll be talking about that as well as rural agriculture, economic development. Right. So we always talk about the importance of rural development and having jobs in rural counties, but also the importance of making those ag-based developments that will bring money back into the pockets of the farmers. So that's our 4 topics. Shane, I know you're out there in the counties a lot, already hearing about those issues out there, I'm sure.
Absolutely. So
The environmental stewardship piece, something we started a new committee this year with that, and we want to hear ideas, because that's kind of what we're talking about with that issue. There are a lot of programs out there that have been developed over the last few years, and so we need to be on top of that and hear from our counties and our advisory committees. And of course, the farmland retention with our Kentucky Farmland Initiative that we've got, the transition initiative that we've got together. We want to hear about that too, of the ideas that people have. Do we need to tweak our policy this year of things that we can do to keep that prime farmland in active farmers' hands? So we need to look at those policies and see if our policy is right with those topics. And of course, those tax laws that are expiring. What do we need to do to fix those? And of course, we have advisory committees on all those in counties. So it'll be an exciting few months here, and the culmination will come the first part of November, and we'll have the committee come in here and do the work that they do, and we have a little fun while we're doing that too. We sometimes we can chase a few rabbits in the committee and talk about different things. Shane, we might not be strict on Robert's Rules of Order all the time. Sometimes we may discuss some things before we have a motion on the floor, but that's okay. It works for us, and we try to let the committee have their voice of what they want to do and talk about the issues. So that's, but we do have some fun while we're doing it. So it's a really close group, and I think if you ask any resolutions committee member out there, they enjoy that 3 days that they get to come to Louisville and spend that time going through our policy.
Yeah, it's a great 3 days. Really enjoy it. Looking forward to it. It's not until November, but we're already, full-time planning up for it. So looking forward to that. Shane, as a longtime county leader and first vice president of Kentucky Farm Bureau, what's any last words of advice to the members that are listening today and the policy development process?
I would just, especially for any new board members that are out there, I would be sure that when your counties are sitting down to talk about any kind of resolutions that y'all are going to send in, or when you talk about resolutions, to be sure and be involved in that. Even if you don't know what it is or don't know anything about it, get involved. That's the only way you're going to learn about it, because it is the most important thing. Just like we've said numerous times today, we are the grassroots organization. That is the grassroots of our organization. That's our main thing. That's our main driver. Be involved. So, please, that's how you get your feet wet. Anything you don't know with Farm Bureau, that's how you get started. And those of y'all that's been around in Farm Bureau a long time, we have a lot of boards, especially I'm in District 9, and some of our counties, they've got board members, even Clark County, we've got board members that's been there for years. Pull those young board members in and let them know about it. Tell them what it's about. Yeah. Let's get these young people involved. Yeah. Let's get them started, get them going.
Absolutely.
That'd be the best advice I think I could give any of them.
Yeah, well, great advice. Looking forward to seeing all our members as we travel this next month in July to all 11 districts all throughout the Commonwealth of Kentucky. We get out there and see how beautiful our Commonwealth is and get to meet and greet with members. And we do a lot of important business, but it's also just really good to sit down and fellowship with our friends and family and Farm Bureau. So,
absolutely.
Well, Shane, thank you for being here today.
Appreciate you all. Thank you.